We'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
Hey, what's going on, Wolfpack? I am out here in the play area where our Aldabra tortoises are being housed. We've got Sebastian right here. Ludwig is peeking out of his box. And of course, we have big Kahlua on this side. Now, today is going to be the day that I finally figure out whether or not these tortoises are going to get along. And the reason why it is a little pressing right now is because we are coming into winter, which means we have to make sure animals are in housing where they're going to stay warm. Of course, what that means for our monitor lizards is that the flaps go back on their hide boxes. Those insulating flaps that keep the warmth inside those boxes, those go back on. We make sure the heat pads are good. It's pretty easy peasy for these guys. Now, you'll remember what we had to do for winter, the couple months that we had them in winter last year, was because Kahlua did not get along with the other tortoises. That's why the gate divider is here to keep them separated. Kahlua tried to attack the other tortoises. Now, of course, that couldn't fly. Look, he's already trying to climb the stinking fence here. Kahlua, what are you doing? So what I had to do last winter was actually every night come in here, pick up Ludwig and Sebastian, take them over the fence, across the yard, into the hide box here. I'd have to dip down to go in there, and then there's another pen inside that I would set them into. Now, it was only about 2 months of having to do that last year, so it wasn't too bad. But this year, we have a full winter with these guys, and I don't know that I can do that for 5 months. I don't think my back could handle that. So we need to either figure out a solution that we are going to have to do, or know that these guys are going to be cohabbed successfully. And I want to figure that out today. I want to know whether or not these animals are going to get along, or if we're going to have to come up with another solution on what we're going to have to do. Now, some of you guys had suggested that maybe on this big box, we could actually put a human-sized door on the side, which doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. I like that suggestion. So making a human-sized door that I would be able to open up and walk in and not have to bend down, because right now, to bring these tortoises inside, I have to squat down to be able to get in here and carry them in. My back can't handle that. Now, Kahlua's walking up here. Kahlua is a super sweet tortoise. Now you guys can see Kahlua's doing the little happy wiggle here. This is the happy tortoise butt dance that they do when they enjoy getting pets. You guys will know tortoises can actually feel things through their shell. Sorry about that, guys. GoPro overheated as usual. I actually think that our GoPro 11 is just done. I think it's toast. We're either gonna look at replacing that GoPro or just all switch to DJI stuff, which is what we use to film for the other channel. All right, this is perfect. Kahlua is coming right up. It's like he knows that that it's time to give this a shot. So I don't know where I was, what I was saying at the point that it overheated or shut off, but we're just gonna dive into it. This is what we got to figure out. You know, we're gonna see how this goes. Let me set you guys up for being on a tripod, and I'll show you pulling Kahlua over here and attempting an introduction. All right, Lewis. You're hefty. You're a big fella. So far, so good. Everybody's kind of going in their own directions here. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm going to sit myself down and just watch. And hopefully everybody gets along. I'm gonna keep the camera right beside me, so just in case anything happens, I will have it right here to turn on and capture the moment. But we're gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. Please get along, you guys, please. All right, so we'll be back in just a little bit with an update on these guys. All right, so here's Kahlua and Sebastian. And Sebastian's just walking away. Kahlua is gonna go find out. And then gave up. Okay, good. They turn back around. Now they're looking at each other again. They're kind of just doing a little investigating head touches. So far, so good. You can't climb each other like a mountain, you goobers. Alright, so Kahlua is disengaging and just making his way around. Okay, cool. Cool. You said hi to each other, and now you're gonna go your separate ways. Good. I like that. I like that a lot. Meanwhile, Ludwig just chilling. Chilling like a villain, Ludwig. Yeah. What's up, Luds? What's up, Luds? What are you doing? What are you doing, huh? Yeah. Do you like the pets? Is that a happy thing? See, I can't tell if Ludwig actually wants the attention or not. Right now, he's just gonna come investigate, see whether or not my hand is food, which it is not. Hey, buddy. Because for some tortoises, this is the happy dance, right? But I can't tell if this is Ludwig's leave me alone dance. Kahlua is going to bulldoze his way past Sebastian. Oh, Kahlua, I can guarantee you are not going to fit in that house, my friend. You are not going to fit in that house. All right, now here is Kahlua coming up on Ludwig. Oh, okay, totally passed up. See, this is the interaction that I was most curious about, because Ludwig is the one that Kahlua actually tried to bite before. So I figured out of anybody out of these two, Kahlua might be less happy with little Ludwig here, but it seems like Kahlua is just passing him up. I don't want to be too excited too quickly, but so far so good. Oh, I'm really hoping for the best here. I would really, really love to see these three get along and be able to just cohab together. Oh man. Yeah, you made that pool awfully dirty, didn't you? You sure did. Oh gosh. Kahlua just pushed the door open and realized that he could make a break for it. Sorry, Kahlua. You can't go out, bud. You can't go out, buddy. All right, guys, a little time has passed. So far, so good. I decided that I will try a Missouri feeding. Hey, Luds, what are you doing, buddies? So I have Kahlua's plate here. I have Ludwig and Sebastian's plate here. Everybody has been doing okay so far. I have a very large thing of Missouri here. Now, normally they do not get this much Missouri. It's usually supplemented with a few other things, greens, and they only get it, you know, once or twice a week. But I wanted to make sure that there was an overabundance of food so that when they go to try to eat together for the first time, there is absolutely no competition with who is getting what. There is just a ton of it. Oh, well, excuse me, sir. You're standing on the plate I was just about to fill. Come on. Now, Aldabra tortoises actually have a thing in their social hierarchy where if there is another tortoise behind this tortoise, that tortoise will tap the back of its shell to try to get it to move over. So it's what Kenan does to actually get his tortoises back in the hide. But I don't know that Ludwig here knows that very well. He's acting like he doesn't know what I'm doing. Bon appetit, you guys. Kahlua has not yet realized what we've got here. These two are going in right away. Hey, Lua. Kahlua, you see? Kahlua is tangled up in the hose. Oh, there you go, buddies. There you go. Hungry, hungry. It never ceases to amaze me just how much these guys can put down. Ah, you got a nice big mouthful there, Sebastian. My goodness. All right. So hopefully some introduction of food, showing these guys that they each get their own portion, that there's no competition. Wow, you can really tell that this food has a ton of water in it, because when Sebastian here goes to take a bite, it is just dribbling down his chin. These guys look very, very happy. So yeah, hopefully this positive reinforcement with some food shows them that all is good, that this only helps to fortify everybody's relationship here. I'm gonna let them enjoy their meal, and we'll come back in a little bit and see how everybody's doing. I mean, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna be right here with them, but I'll turn the camera back on in a little bit. We are still out here. It looks like Sebastian just finished up with his meal. Hey, Sebastian, how are we doing? Was that good, buddy? Oh, you are covered. Like your legs, your shell, your face. Can you even see? Oh my God. Oh, absolutely covered in Missouri. That is so funny. So Ludwig and Sebastian got their fill, and Kahlua kind of just ran over his plate, ate what he wanted off of it, and now has moved on to eating off of the other tray. But you know what? There's plenty of food. It's no problem. He can have as much as he wants. And yeah, so, oh, those two are going for a nap in their hide. Had a good meal, going for a nap. Kahlua's just gonna keep on munching.
All right, guys. While Kagan is working with the tortoises in the enclosure, I am over here trying to figure out the next place to move them. As you know, that area was only temporary for them, and I want to know what the next step is for them to get them out of that play area and to try and have that set up for winter. I'm still stuck on the scooter. You see my crutches behind me, but able to scoot around and still hammer rebar in the ground. And I think I could do fence posts and things like that. I think I could work on a fence right now. So I mean, I would only need somebody to help put the post in. I think I could stand up and do the post hole digger. I think it could happen and get them into their permanent place. So Kagan and I had decided, and I've discussed it with Kenan and everything, that this side of our yard is more like an oak grove. There are a couple fruit plants in this area, but the grass really doesn't grow amazing. I should also say that the proposed area for them was right on the other side of that fence, basically the same area with a little bit more direct sun, and we were going to remove those cedar trees per everyone's suggestions that they can't have cedar trees in their enclosure. But then we decided that maybe that makes a lot more sense to expand the quail out a little bit more there and move the tortoises to this front yard that really, it's like cutting grass over 50% grass and sand most of the year. It doesn't grow amazing. It has that filtered sunlight that they're gonna need. As long as we hurricane cut these oaks and let a little bit more sunlight, they'll have their good sunny areas, but it would create an area that's very similar to Kenan's front area where he has his galops and aldabras. So all I did to start was pop a line, and to get a straight line, I measured off the fence, 40 feet off the fence line. I put a rebar way over there, put one over here, and straight edged it over to the fence. Now that's 40 fence to the string over. Now, initially I thought that the enclosure was gonna go into the yard from there, further into the yard, because we wanted to keep them away from the property line just in case anything is sprayed or whatever on the fence, that it doesn't affect our animals. But you know me, problem solving, thinking, trying to figure it out. I have to put a 6-foot wire fence along that side of the property anyway. Right now there's a 4-foot with barbed wire on top, but I need to do 6 because the chickens are hopping the fence and we haven't been free ranging our chickens lately. So we need to go to 6 foot all across this entire very long stretch of our property, probably a couple hundred feet. But it's got to be done because it would cut down the food costs. It'll cut down on the ticks and anything on that back half of the property around our animals. And that was the intention for the chickens, to always be free ranging, except for at nights where they would go back into their coop. So we would love to get that done. Utilizing this cross fence, which I didn't think I was going to, it would be easy to add boards, make that solid, bring that fence up along that property line to the 6-foot wire fence, but then go solid wood for a certain portion of that. That would block them from the neighbors or whatever, and eventually go full 6 foot. Obviously, I'm not going to absorb the cost of a 6-foot fence for a couple hundred feet of my property. I already want to do that on the front of the property, but that's a much smaller run. But I could do it for 100 feet just for the tortoises, go up 4 feet, and just that section be solid. I would have to remove the 1-seater on the other side of the fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh gosh, 6, 7. I think 7 cedars. Be a lot, but as the oak trees are maturing and stuff here, the cedars have really gotten thin along the bottom, and we see a lot more of our neighbor's property here anyway. So if our privacy went to our property line, it doesn't look like we have much land there, but 40 feet by 100 feet, I mean, that's a lot of people's backyard right there. And it's really unusable land right now. By opening it up and letting the tortoises use that portion, it wouldn't be a pain to cut the grass around because it would be blocked up against the fence line. I'm justifying it, but I think I've already talked myself into it. Lastly, our last concern. I say a lot of silly things, right? When I said we have fruit trees, one of the biggest concerns Kagan had is we are finally getting our passion fruit vines to get up these oak trees. I do need a hurricane cut that tree to allow a little bit more sunlight, and this vine should really take off. I want only the clean branches on the bottom so it gets into the canopy. She's afraid about the fruit and the tortoise's consumption of too much fruit. But I said that we could always do 4x4 12-foot posts up on the other side and hang a large mesh, maybe for 20 feet, that comes to the front of that enclosure at an angle. Only hang it during the fruiting season, and all the fruit would fall on that mesh and roll to this side of the fence. Maybe a couple would fall in there, but hardly any. And I think this area only incorporates 2 of those vines. We have 4 along this property line. So we'd be able to keep them out of most of all that fruit. So that won't be a problem. I may pick up the Sawzall and remove some of the cedar lower branches to kind of open it up so you guys could see. That is a depression or swale at the edge of our property that allows the rainwater to drain off. So that is going to allow for a lot of the good water or mud wallowing for these tortoises, and give them a little elevation to climb up on. It goes down and then back up. Obviously, we can add something more with some smoothly set up rocks for them to climb up and down, kind of like Kenan has and everyone suggests. We could do that permanently in there. But we'd like to get it done for winter. I think we have, and I don't know if Kagan already discussed it, we have 2 months before we add flaps back on. So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna jump into it and start doing it. This is a project that we would like done in that time frame. So I'm gonna get the Sawzall and trim up some branches. And I'm sure I'm gonna bring the camera back to Kagan as she is working with the tortoises, but it looks like it's going really well.
All right, guys, so it's been about 3 hours. We went inside for lunch, had lunch. I set up the ring cam right up here so that I could watch these guys while we were sitting inside having lunch. And so far so good still. Like I said, about 3 hours in, and everybody's still doing okay. I ended up taking off this panel right here. I'll probably end up taking off this next one as well, just to give everybody the ability to run the entire area. That way we increased the space a little more. But it's kind of funny, they keep going back to the plate, eating even more. I can't believe how much food these guys can pack away when they really want to. And Kahlua has been running this back wall just back and forth around this plant. We keep saying that Kahlua is going to kill these plants because they have these little nips on the bottom. That's all fresh. That's all Kahlua. I know. I see you standing tall, man. I see you standing tall. Yeah, you're doing good today. You've definitely made a little trough around this area. So we're just going to keep watching them. Keep hoping for the best. I've got a few other things I get to work on today, so luckily we've got that ring camera up there so that we can keep that open on our phones and keep paying attention to them. And oh my goodness, I look over and Jerry is working on the trees. Holy smokes. Man, that was quick. Piles of tree branches in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think I boxed myself in now.
Uh-oh. All right, let me help him out.
All right, guys, end of the day. I trimmed the branches, no problem. I mean, it was still a lot hopping on one leg and trimming them all. But once I got them all on the ground and in piles, I realized that I wasn't really able to load them up and get them to the front and unload them. I mean, I possibly could have, but not quickly at all. And poor Kagan had to come over here and pick up the piles. There were piles all the way down this property line for the 100 feet, and she had to get them all. I don't know, you guys have probably never really seen the neighbor's house, but now you can clearly see their house. Once the fence is done and solidified a little bit, I'm sure either they or I will get something that creates some sort of privacy, because really the end goal is to do this throughout the entire property line and remove the cedars. There's enough mature oaks for the windbreak, and a lot of the cedars are actually dying off because the oaks are actually choking them out. And as the oaks spread out, yeah, they just are not getting the sunlight, and the plants are dying off anyway. So I still got to remove the trees, but now you can see the space a lot better. It's at least 40 feet deep. That's a lot. Right now they're in a 12 by 60, so this will be 40 by 100. Kagan was even thinking that we could probably set them up in half of it initially, especially during the winter. It may be easier to get them back in at night if it's a smaller space, or maybe we'll just, once we start it, we may go for it, do the whole thing, and then just cross fence it with something temporarily for the winter, and then let them have use of the whole space later. I don't know. Maybe we'll just let them have use of the space, and maybe they'll enjoy more space and grazing. Why not? The grass is going to grow in here better once some of those trees are removed. More sunlight's going to hit the ground, and we'll have more grass. They're going to have the soil and stuff in there to wallow. I think it'll be good. So now, if we went back over by the enclosure, I don't know if you guys want to go on this long, slow ride with me, but they're doing good together. Way better than we thought, because every other little attempt we've made hasn't really gone well. Kagan's even removed the divider between the enclosures, and so now they're roaming the whole thing. The last thing to really pay attention to is if they can all use the large hide box that Kahlua is using. Right now, the other two are using their small hide box, but the goal is for them to be in that large heated one for winter. So that's the last thing to really see. Is Kahlua gonna be weird about that at night? Did Kahlua like claim that as its house, or is Kahlua gonna be okay? I think we're over the hump. Kalua's not chasing tortoises around. Of course, Kahlua has an endless plate of food right now. Maybe it was a food competitive drive that made Kahlua that way. I don't know, but hopefully we're past it. If anything changes, we'll update you guys. But I think that's it for this one. Next time you see that tortoise area, I'll probably have the trees out of it and we'll be full steam ahead on it. And hopefully the next time you see these tortoises, there won't be a divider in here and they'll all be in here getting along. That would be awesome. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and ring that notification bell. We'll see you guys soon.